everyone, and welcome back to Carl's Conversations. This is the Black Excellence Showcase. I'm so happy to have this showcase until I don't know what to do with myself. And I want to make something clear right off of the rip. Now, the title is the Black Excellence Showcase because we are showcasing excellence within the Black community. But I want to make it very, very clear every invitee, every honoree that we have on this showcase is not just an example of Black excellence, but they fit the bill in excellence everywhere for all time for everyone, regardless of color, creed, nationality, race, sex, or anything else. I got to say that because, some people, they get a little special and they want to pigeonhole us. But I want to make sure, and know how I know because I read all the comments. So I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that we get that out there. Now, listen, there are a couple of you on with us already live. We're live right now on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So if you're with us already and you have not already subscribed to the Carl's Conversations YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Now, come on now. Go ahead and subscribe. Give us a like if you haven't done so at Carl's Conversations on Facebook, where you are getting this stream. Please make sure you give us a like and a follow. And if you're catching us on Twitter, on my personal Twitter page, make sure you give us a like and a follow there too. Make sure you tag someone if you're on Facebook. Miss Christina Hampton is with us, y'all. This is a special somebody in this community. She is a mental health professional. She is a businesswoman and an entrepreneur. She is a tremendous community advocate. And when it comes to smarts, you can just look on the other side of the screen. Some people look smart, but then they start talking, and you start doing this right here. But when you get around her and she starts talking, you say, "Oh, look at what the Lord hath done."
Amen.
And so I'm very thankful that Miss Christina Hampton has said yes to our invitation. It is an absolute honor to feature her. She is doing so much in our community by way of her business, by way of her books. And when you get talking about mental health in the Black community, we could never do enough in that area, to be quite honest with you. The work that she's doing is so admirable, and I just honor her. And so, Miss Christina, I want to tell you officially, welcome, and thank you so much for saying yes to us. Welcome to Carl's Conversations. Welcome to the Black Excellence Showcase. And if you don't mind, would you take a moment to tell the people something about yourself, because you can do it so much better than I can.
Well, thank you so much, Carl, for having me on. I have watched your Carl's Conversations now, probably for the last year or so, and I really appreciate what you're doing, providing a platform for our community, highlighting some very influential people. So, thank you for having me on. Well, I'm Christina Hampton. I am a mental health and substance use counselor. I am a first time published author. Oh man, it's a lot. I am a CEO of a different cloth event staffing here based in Fredericksburg. I am also the CEO of Christina Hampton LLC. I just recently launched a podcast called Unmuted Minds that is being broadcast through Black Fredericksburg Radio. So I'm really excited about that. And I launched it's a leadership, it's called Leadership Reset. It is for basically educating leaders on stress management.
Oh, that is awesome. Now, listen, how in the world do you find time to do all of those things?
Well, I don't do them all at the same time. Let's just say. So, with my business, a different cloth, I do have staff, so I'm able to. I don't have to be at every event, so that gives me, time to do other things that I enjoy doing. As a mental health counselor, I do that during the day. That's my day job. Not saying I don't counsel people, outside of my day job, but I have set hours for that. So everything else, I kind of work it in, right?
Right.
We
Now,
all are multitasking
Lord
and
knows,
juggling multiple things, right?
I never thought I would, but I can't help it.
Yeah.
Now, I really want to start here, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Mental health. You are a mental health professional, and you and
Hmm.
I have done some talking about this offline.
Yeah.
Um, I want you to take your time, if you don't mind, and if you want to, you can go into your own story. But what has drawn you to the mental health space, and what keeps you there? And I'm asking because mental health in the Black community is so
Okay.
much needed, but it's not quite. I'm not sure if availability is the issue or acceptability. One
Mm.
thing I learned is you got to let the experts be the experts. I'm going to let you be the experts. I can tell you what I think, but you can tell us what you know. So fill us in. Why are you in that space? What motivates you to stay? And what are you finding out while you're there?
I think what brought me into the space. Well, first, let me say I did go to school for biblical and theological studies because I thought that I wanted to be a pastor. And then I thought again and said, no, that's not the direction the Lord's taking me. So for most of my life, I've always heard that I'm a wise person and I provide sound advice and insight to people. And through the years, I have always been a person that loves to help others, love to give, love to see transformation in people, and I think that's what keeps me in the space. It's the transformation, it's the change, it's the understanding that we need counselors, right? We need people who are uh, supporting others in their mental health struggles. And this is not to say that I don't have my own days where my mental health is challenged as well. And I think we have to remember that because someone is a mental health counselor, it does not mean that they don't struggle as well. It does not mean that they don't go through things themselves, right? So I have my own support system and I love being a support system to someone else. I think that's what's kept me in the space. My work is rewarding. I love what I do. And it's actually, you know how they say when you love what you do, it's not work anymore. It's kind of, it's a passion of mine. So that's what's kept me in the space. What I do see is there is a lack of male counselors, specifically Black male counselors, and I think we would benefit more if we had more male counselors in this space, Black male counselors.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. Now, why do you think we have a lack of the Black mental health professionals?
Because anytime I show up at different, whether it's a summit, whether it's a workshop or uh, a seminar, I'm not seeing a lot of Black males as counselors. And I think, especially when I have clients that are coming in and that's what they're looking for in particular, and I hate to tell them, well, I'm sorry, we only have we only have a couple here, but I can help you. I think it's important to be able to provide the client what they're looking for if they feel like they're going to resonate better, right? And so just from that alone, I've seen that where it's needed, we don't have it. So I encourage any male, I mean, any race, let's just say that, any male to think about getting into the counseling field.
I have a person who is a consistent viewer of the Carl's Conversations platform. He's a Black man. And
Mhm.
just a few weeks ago, he asked me, he said, "Brother, will you please do a show on mental health and Black men?" And he gave me a little bit of what was on his mind.
Yeah.
And I have been working behind the scenes trying to put that show together. You don't know this yet, but I was going to ask you to be part of that panel. You know now. But
And I
I,
accept.
what was that?
I accept. I will be
Wonderful.
on the panel.
I want to know if you can tell me What is going on with Black men in the mental health space? Is there a crisis, an underlying crisis that maybe we don't know about?
I think there is a crisis along all lines when it comes to mental health, but in particular to Black men, I think that we have, for so many years, uh, kind of gotten to a point where Black men may not feel comfortable expressing that they're having a mental health concern, or that they're, whether it's saddened, depressed, anxious, whichever, whichever word you want to put to it. I think the main issue is comfortability, and also finding the right person to talk to. Right. Again, we just talked about how some Black men, they may be looking for a Black therapist, and there isn't any. Not saying there isn't any. There's a shortage, I should say. So that could be, why it seems like there is a crisis, because we don't give them the space to be able to be free and be open and be vulnerable.
Do you think that this is coming from childhood trauma, relationship trauma, situations with our engagement with law enforcement? What
Hmm.
is it that is in particular? Now, I know you say it's more than just Black men, but because
Hmm.
he asked me about this, I don't have many Black women asking me to do it, but it's Black men. He's not the only person that's asked me, but he was so emphatic about it until it made me think twice. Is there a source of the crisis?
I think all of the things you listed play a role, right? Everybody has their, like we were just talking about, a story. Everybody has their story, right? And we can't just put one thing to it, because we have so many different things in our lives, right? Whether we're Black, whether we're male, female, where we grew up, our economic status, all of that plays a role. So it's not just one thing. And trying to, I think, when someone asks for a Black therapist, it's because they feel that person can relate to them better, right? So I think also having someone who can relate to them, who understands their struggles every day, understands the culture, right? And of course, with counseling, they try to educate you as best as possible on being multicultural and being able to relate to someone's culture or learn about their culture. There is nothing like having another person that looks like you, that understands where you come from, to speak to, and to be able to relate to you. So again, I think it's a multitude of things.
That is interesting, very interesting. Um, what is the greatest challenge for you as a mental health professional? I'm sure that you have a multiplicity of different areas where you service people.
Mhm.
What area and the mental health challenges give you the greatest challenges as a professional?
So I also do substance use counseling, and I think that is probably my greatest challenge, dealing with clients uh, who are charged with DUIs, right? And uh, substance use is a little bit different. And I'll say this. So, dealing with people who have substance use, who are, one, maybe in denial about where they are within their struggle, um, and just trying to get them to understand that they have to start the process. They have to want this for themselves. I can't make them want it, right? So getting someone to understand their role that they play in their own recovery, I think, is probably one of the biggest challenges for me.
That is amazing that you say that. You would almost think that that would come almost, as we would like to say it, common sense. But one thing I've learned, common sense is not very common. It's only common
True.
to people that is common to. And I don't mean for that to sound flippant, but this is
Yeah.
part of what I've learned on my journey. Also, people who are unwell
Hmm.
do not think like well people.
Yeah.
How are you able to help unwell people to realize that they're unwell without them thinking that they're quote unquote crazy?
Well, for me, I am one of those therapists that I am very honest, very direct. Uh, I think people have become accustomed to what they see on TV. So they think, oh, someone's laying on the couch pouring out their concerns, and the counselor is very gentle. I am gentle. I am empathetic and understanding. However, I am very honest as well with my client. Um, and if they are, so here's the thing, you're not going to tell someone you're not well, right? You're going to allow them to talk. You're going to, uh, if there's any contradictions, you will identify what those contradictions are. But a lot of times, repeating back what a client has said to you kind of gives them their own aha moment without you saying, "Well, that statement that you just made just does not make any sense." Instead of saying it that way, and keep in mind too, every client is different. So from working with a client and building a therapeutic relationship, I know how to speak to one client in a way that I wouldn't speak to another one. So it's learning who you're talking to as well, and knowing which language works best to get them to receive what you're saying.
That is amazing. How do you see mental health playing into the overall health of a person? When you look at a person holistically,
Mm.
what part do you see mental health playing into the overall health?
It is your overall health as far as I'm concerned. I believe that, your mental health plays out in your physical health. If you are a person who is depressed and stressed out, right? That's going to play a part on your organs in your body. That's going to play a part on, if we lose rest, if we are not eating properly, if we're not drinking enough water, getting enough exercise, enough, sunlight, or even talking to people who are uplifting, that can also affect our mental and then our physical health. So I believe that mental health, it's the end all be all to me.
I agree. I want to remind the audience, if you're with us, whether you are here in the live audience or in the playback, and you have a question or a comment, please feel free to put it here. You may get your question answered here live with Ms. Hampton. Maybe something her or I can answer for you, right? The only dumb question is the one that you don't ask, all right? Now, let me ask you this, Christina.
Hmm.
Um, you are an author now.
Hmm.
Um, in your writing, were you able to pull from not just your professional self, but
Hmm.
were you able to pull from your own personal journey, your journey as a business professional, your journey as just a person who has lived life?
Hmm.
Where did you get what you got in your book?
So my book, Delay to Decay, it is about the spiritual implications of procrastination. A Pathway to Poverty is the name of the book. So I actually pull that all from my own personal experience. To be honest, I, for so many years, have been a huge procrastinator. I am now at a point that I don't struggle as much as I used to with it, but I realized the delay that procrastination has caused in my life. A lot of things that I should have done. Even the book, down to the book, I should have written the book years ago. As a matter of fact, God told me to write a book years ago. And here I come 7 years later, completing a book. So, and I think my life probably would have been a little different had I been obedient back then, right? So, procrastination for me is definitely something that has affected my life. And I know that it affects the lives of others. And that's why I wrote the book about it, because when God tells us to go and do something and we choose to be disobedient, it prolongs the process. And not only that, someone else may start doing the very thing that God told you to do, right? Not saying that what your purpose is going to be canceled out. But that one thing that God told you to do in that moment that you procrastinated on and thought about it, a lot of us get caught up in our thoughts. That was my issue. Constantly thinking about the idea instead of actually implementing the idea. So that's why I wrote the book, because I procrastinated for so many years. And I know, like me, there are so many other people who have procrastinated and have missed out on opportunities. It may have even affected them financially. So that was the purpose. It was all for my own personal being disobedient. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I muted
Oh.
myself. I'm going to ask this question, then I'll come back to that thought.
Okay.
Paulette, who is in our audience, hey, Paulette.
I call that.
She says, where are you located and how can we get in contact with you?
So I am located in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I do have a LinkedIn page. It's Christina Hampton, Christina, Hampton, Hampton. And you can reach me through LinkedIn.
All right. See Christina Hampton on LinkedIn, and you see the spelling of her name right there, her name tag. All right. All right. Thank you for that question, Paulette. Now, you talked about procrastination,
Hmm.
and I must admit, I suffer with a little of that too, just being transparent. What is your process to get past procrastination? And let me explain why I ask, because I'm sure somebody's going to see this who's
Hmm.
dealing with the same thing, and they're saying, okay, I hear what you're saying. I
Right.
hear that. But what's your process though? Because I'm scrambling too.
And there, I mean, there isn't a perfect process, right? So for me, what I realized is everything that I want to do, that I need to accomplish, I need to write it down. The next thing I need to do is I need to put a time to it. Okay, so let's say I want to write my second book, which I should be doing right now. Or maybe I'm doing a little procrastinating right now, y'all. But so if I want to write my second book, I would say, okay, by June 1st, I want this second book completed. Now I need a timeline. And ChatGPT can create a timeline for you. If you want to have this book done by June 1st, okay, Chat, tell me, when should I start this book? And how many pages do I need to write per day? How many hours do I need to commit to it, right? I think Chat has made our lives a little easier. We don't have to put, I don't know if it's a good thing though. We don't have to put too much thought into it, but we probably should be putting some thought. But um, creating a timeline, I think using it for that can be very helpful. But to get past procrastination, you have to know what your issues are. If you know you watch too much TV, okay, the first thing is you need a schedule or a time, put yourself on a time limit with your TV watching. If I know one person that I will watch TV for 4 hours, I need to say, okay, let me watch this show for an hour, because we all know we get on Netflix and we start streaming and watching series, and then, it's 3 days later and we're still watching the show. But what you need to do is say, okay, I'm going to commit to writing 5 pages today. And for me to do that, I need to work for 4 hours straight. I'll take 10-minute breaks in between, maybe get lunch after, the 4 hours, and then jump back into writing maybe 2 more pages. Now at 7 p.m., I can watch some TV from 7 to 9 o'clock, but at least you've done some work. So figuring out what your concern is, if it's, I don't know, hanging out, going shopping, online shopping, social media. That was another thing that, was a major issue for me, is social media. Taking some time off of that, like just taking 2 hours off, and then while you're off for 2 hours, write something, or whatever project you have that you're working on. Work on that for a little bit, then come back to social media for 10 minutes, get back off, and it's almost like rewiring your brain, right? They say that every 6 minutes you want to look at your phone. So try not looking at your phone for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, it takes a bit of self-actualization and realization, and also a bit of self-discipline to be
Discipline.
able to have that kind of honesty with yourself. What was your come to Jesus moment with yourself to say, listen, girl, you got to get it together? I'm talking about that conversation that you have in the mirror. What was
Yeah.
that for you?
I think for me, that conversation or when it came is when I think I may have been going through some form of some financial issue. And I just thought about all of the time that I had wasted, right? That's one example. But while in my master's program, procrastinating on schoolwork, being on vacation, always having to do schoolwork on vacation. Why? Because I procrastinated. I didn't do any work at home. So I ended up packing all this stuff to bring with me on vacation. And my husband's looking at me like, you could have done this 3 days ago. So it's just certain things in my life that made me, I got to a point where I had to understand I was making everything more challenging for myself because of my lack of discipline and my lack of time management. So once it got to where I was just completely frustrated with my own self and the habits I developed, is when I said, okay, it's time to make a change.
That's amazing.
And I committed to that, making the change.
That's amazing. I'm sure that answer probably helped somebody. It's not always the easiest thing to get in the mirror and be
Yeah.
honest with yourself, because you
Yeah.
really got to go deep. And everybody's not ready to do that. But I would say that it's helpful. Lord knows I do it a couple times a week if we're gonna be transparent.
And God will show you yourself. God will show you yourself. Also, I am a person, I believe in fasting and praying. And I do believe that during fasting and praying that God will show you some things about your own self. And so that too is another come to Jesus moment for me, right?
I want you to talk about this Unshakable Saturday brunch. What's
Hmm.
that all about?
So Unshakable Saturday Brunch is it is definitely a women's empowerment brunch where we come together to celebrate each other, encourage, uplift, educate. We talk about mental health concerns of women, and it's to have a good time, right? To meet some people within the community that you may not know, or come together with some people that you do know that you haven't seen in a while. It's a great time. It's great food, great company, great conversations. It was created back in, I think we had our first one back in March 2022, and it was myself and Sylvia White. We actually just had a conversation, and this is why conversations are important. I think a lot of times we don't want to talk to people about the ideas that we have because we're scared someone's going to steal them, and in some cases people do. But the conversations that you're having, you have to be careful with who you're having these conversations, but having them can bring on some great opportunities. So we talked, and we decided to start the brunch in March 2022. That was the first one, and now we're on the fifth. Our fifth annual brunch will be this year.
Oh, wow. Uh, what kind of impact have the brunches had with you and the others who are involved?
So I think one of the greatest impacts, one, we learn so much about mental health and about ourselves as women, right? And then the other thing is we give an award away. We gave our second one away last year, but we give out a Proverbs 31 Woman Award. And that is for any woman that is just a just a sign of resilience, of strength, of love, of community, right? So the first one, Nana Noy, she got the first Proverbs 31 Woman Award, and then Miss Redeemer Rock got it last year. I'm not going to announce yet who's getting it this year, but it is definitely a very influential woman in our community that's getting it.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Now, do you open these up to the public?
The award?
Yes.
Well, okay. As far as allowing them to decide who should get it.
No, no, no. Allowing them to come to see the actual award presentation.
Oh, so the brunch is definitely open to the public for sure. We put it out on Eventbrite, and then I announced it on all of my social media pages. We also have a Unshakable Saturday Brunch Facebook group. So if you're a female, I'm sorry, males, y'all got to create your own group. But if if you are a female and you would like to join the Unshakable Saturday Brunch Facebook group, please, you can definitely be a part of that group. And I also want to encourage the men. Listen, we post and share on social media. If you think your wife, girlfriend, significant other, will mother, sister, whoever would like to be there, please buy them a ticket so they can come out and also be loved on and celebrated, and we all support each other. So there are people who connect at these brunches that go on to do business together. So please, we encourage all women from all walks of life. It is faith based. However, we accept women from all walks of life, because if we're not showing people who Jesus, the heart of Jesus, then how can we tell anybody, why he is the joy of our life, right? So we have to be able to welcome, people from all walks of life and show
Agree.
them the love that we have of Christ.
You're awesome. Now, listen, you're doing a new thing in the community by way of radio.
Yes.
Please tell us. Please tell us what you're doing. Take your time. Take your time.
So I am really excited about this new thing, right? This new podcast, Unmuted Minds. I first want to say, publicly, I appreciate Tawana James of Black Fredericksburg Radio and the platform that she has created for our community. One of the things I think is really great is that she is open to sharing her platform, which is something that we all need. We all need to, find ways to share with each other, right? That's the only way we can be great as a community. And so I am really excited about this. We will be launching our first two episodes in the month of March. Um, and from there, we will have two episodes every month, and it's about mental health, all things mental health. Our first episode is Why Silence Exists. Carl, you were a part of that, and Jay was also a part of that first um, episode. And I'm really excited about that one because we talk about why in the Black community we didn't grow up learning about mental health or having those conversations. So this is not going to be your typical podcast. We're definitely going to be touching some issues in our community that need to be talked about. Uh, we need to definitely provide some insight to that, and I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. Out of all the things that I'm doing, that the podcast is probably the podcast and the brunch are the top two. I really have put a lot of thought and it's not, and this is all by the grace of God. This is all by God downloads things into us of what he wants us to do. And as we know, when God gives us a vision, he's going to bring all the pieces together, right? And it's so interesting that once you have the vision, people just start popping up out of nowhere. Even with the and I saw there's another person, Coach T. She's actually doing a show, and I'm sorry, forgive me, Coach T, if you're watching that. I can't remember the name of it. I'm so sorry. Oh, the something about the CEO, right? So I saw her show, and the idea of doing something in mental health for radio came about. So kudos to Coach T. Make sure y'all check out her show as well on Black Register Radio.
Well, I want to commend you on what you're doing with this radio show because I think that what you're doing is really touchable. And this is what I mean when I say that. So many times when we see things in the commercial space, I think it's too sanitized.
Yeah.
We're so concerned about branding and marketing and making it so that it's so palatable that we don't take enough time to get down to the root of what we're really trying to do. We don't get down to business. Uh, I like to get to the issue.
Yeah.
I could forego appetizers and the desserts when it comes to my meals.
Yeah.
I can just order the main course, get me a drink, and get on down the road. And I'm
Yeah.
the same way about whenever I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. I want to get straight to it.
Yeah.
And one thing I really do love about what you're doing in this program that you're doing on the radio with mental health, you're getting right to it. Now you're doing it with class. You got a
Mm.
certain je ne sais quoi that you. I mean, it is classy, it is professional, but you're getting to it,
Yeah.
and I love it. I love what you're doing. I
I
told you
appreciate
behind closed doors, and I'll tell you again in this live interview, whatever it is that I can do to help you, the answer is yes. We just got to work out whatever the schedule is. The answer is yes. I
it.
love what you're doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for those kind words. I really, um, as we were preparing to record the first episode, just something that just kept playing in my mind. And remember, I told you and Jay, I was like, we don't have to worry about it being perfect. It's for God. This was me talking to myself because when I start anything, I get a little bit of nervousness, right? And I'm like, God, you want me to do this? When God first told me I was going to be a writer and a speaker, I said, no, you must be talking to somebody else. I am not going to do You know how you have those conversations with God, like, no, that ain't it. Let's choose something else. But as soon as he told me that, opportunities have been coming, speaking opportunities. And then I am one of those people too that if I can't get on your platform, then I'm going to create the platform for myself. I am one of those people. So I really appreciate what you said, and I'm grateful to anyone who steps forward and wants to contribute to any of the projects that I'm doing. Again, because it's done from the heart and the spirit, and uh, I'm just excited for all things that God has put together. So
Me too. And you talked about something with obedience and things coming together. I tell people all the time, two of the most powerful words for any believer is yes, Lord. And amazing
hmm
things happen when you say yes, Lord.
I heard you say that earlier. I watched you earlier.
That's right. So you know. So Paulette is asking, do you have a flyer for this event? Now I'm not sure exactly what event she's talking about,
Is
but
she talking about the Unshakeable Saturday brunch? So if you don't see a flyer as of right now, flyers are being created as we speak. So you will see a flyer for all of my speakers that are going to be on the podcast. You will see a flyer for the brunch coming out very soon. And I think that is it. So
and
yeah,
where
you
do you
will.
post your flyers?
They are definitely going to be on my Facebook page, which is Christina Hampton. My Instagram, Christina Love Hampton. They'll be on LinkedIn as well. And I think that's it.
All right. So everybody, if you want to catch those flyers, see Christina Hampton on her Instagram page on her Facebook page. All right. Flyers to come.
And LinkedIn as well. So, and keep in mind, Facebook and Instagram, I put, some business things on there, but those are for my personal uh, taste of things, right? LinkedIn is more of my professional. So if you're looking for, my professional page, please go to LinkedIn.
Now, let me ask you this, Christina. Are you looking to have a professional website developed for your business and other things that you do?
So I do have a website that I did myself. So yes, I do need a professional person to do it for me.
I ask that for selfish reasons. Now, first of all, whoever's watching, and you do professional websites, I know you're not gonna charge Christina because we're going to do some bartering. She can do something for you. You can do something for her. And after you do it for her, I want you to call me because I can do something for you too. Now let's get back to our program. So listen,
And there
you
is one
are,
thing that I did not mention. I also have a Christian counseling business called New Dawn Christian Counseling. So if you need Christian counseling, please reach out to me for that as well.
now, New Dawn, is that the business that you are the CEO of?
I'm the CEO of every business that I put out.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, there's so many people when they see that CEO, Chief Executive Officer,
Hmm.
their minds go to something that's really not reality. Years ago, 20 years ago, could you see yourself where you are now? Could you see that?
You know what's interesting? Throughout high school, I think I was maybe 14 or 15. I would tell my friends that when they would say, "Oh, well, what are you going to be when you get older?" I'm like, "I'm going to be wealthy and I'm going to travel and check my bank accounts every day and pay people what I need to pay them. That's going to be my life. I'm not working for nobody, and I'm kind of, I work for someone because I need that for my license. I prefer not to work for another person unless it's for me to learn for learning purposes. But I would say when I was younger, my goal was to always be an entrepreneur. That was
That's
my goal.
amazing.
The counseling part is interesting because I think I was maybe 15 or 16. I had I believe she was a vice principal. It was a black woman named Mrs. Jerry Ewing. And I used to get in trouble so much. I know y'all can't believe this, but I used to get in trouble so much for fighting that she pulled me out and made me a conflict mediator for my peers. And when I look back over the different things that, I've experienced in my life, that right there, I guess, kind of was a nudge at that this will be the profession I will be in as a counselor. So imagine a person that that would get into fights, that would get suspended in school and out of school suspension often every year. My best friend used to, her mother would write contracts for us, like you're not getting suspended this year. We would have to sign it, and we would still get suspended. But she pulled me out and made sure that she started to kind of mentor me into uh, being a more, I guess, calm and more emotionally regulated student. So I guess that kind of played into who I am today too.
That's amazing. When I was on active duty in the Army, that was a tactic that we would use with very troublesome soldiers.
Mm,
People always believe in, negative reinforcement.
yeah.
Sometimes it'll work. Sometimes punishment is right. But what I
I
would do
believe
is
that.
take them and put them in charge of something. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it for something cheap. No,
Yeah.
something very important. And
Yeah.
would you know that the vast majority of the time, sometimes the most troublesome people,
Mm,
the ones that would give you the business, they were absolute superstars when you put them in charge. Not so much that they wanted to be quote unquote the boss,
yeah.
but you give them a sense of responsibility. And all the things that you
Yeah.
think they never listen to, oh, no, no, no. They were paying very good attention because they would have the things done. Dress right, dress, attention to detail. You could turn your
Mm,
back and walk away. They got it. And
yeah.
that always amazed me. So when you say that, I think that that administrator
Oh
who,
yeah.
who put you
Oh
in
yeah.
charge, maybe she had a little touch of that.
Oh yeah.
Now
She
let me
probably
ask you
got
this.
tired of me being in her office too.
Yeah, I'm sure. But she saw something in you that you probably didn't see in yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I asked you the question, could you see yourself 20 years ago where you see yourself now? Now I want to connect the dots here. What would you say your path was from telling your friends how you think your life would be to get into where you are now. You're a published author. You're a
Mm-hmm.
CEO of several entities. You're
Mm-hmm.
a mental health professional. You got a radio show. You got an annual brunch.
Mm-hmm.
You got your hand in so many very significant and very positive, impactful things.
Yeah.
What was the journey? What was the path? And what was it like?
Hmm. Well, I'll say this. There was a time in my life, and a lot of people, or I guess Carl, I guess we getting ready to get real deep now. Uh, there are some things that I've gone through in my life. Substance use is definitely one of them. I abused cocaine for so many years of my life, and I would say probably about 10 years of my life. Um, I also of course had some run-ins with law enforcement and going to court and I 20 years ago got something on my record that I still have to explain today. So there are some things that I've gone through that kind of if a person didn't know me and they looked at my criminal record, not saying that it's extensive or anything, but just something that's on there. I have 5 felony charges that were on there. I didn't get 5 felonies, I just got those charges. If you looked at that and didn't know me, you would say, well, this probably isn't the best person to be a counselor, or all these things that I do, right? I will say this. As I was going through all of that, God was still uh, faithful to me. And I may not have been living my life according to the Bible at that time, but God definitely protected me. And there was a point where I thought I was going to do 20 years of my life in prison, and God made sure that that did not happen. And I'm still praising God for that. Um, so there were definitely things that happened. I have lived in another country. I lived in Barbados with my ex-husband. So just different things that I've gone through that, and I don't regret going through those things. I think those things helped create the person that I am. It helped me to realize what was important. It also helped me to realize that spending my life in prison was not going to allow me to do what God had called me to do. And it brought me closer to God. So there was definitely a process, as with anybody, that we all have to go through the fire, I guess, at some point in our life. But I'm just glad that God didn't allow the fire to consume me, and instead He put a fire in me to do what I needed to do for Him. And so it was a journey, but I made it. I made it out of a lot of things, and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you for sharing that because I think that is the connective tissue that people need to hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes people see the finished product
Hmm.
or what they think, what they perceive to be the finished
Yeah.
product, and all they really see is the shine from the polish,
Hmm. Yeah.
but they don't see the rugged leather
Yeah.
and all that it went through.
And I grew up with a single parent, um, and I'm the oldest of five, and so I had to be responsible very early because my mom worked. So I think a lot of it too is having those responsibilities. I didn't like them when I had them, but now that I'm older and I see how having those responsibilities, having to take care of my siblings, or having to kind of be uh, just a stronger person within my life, right? I see how that has molded me into who I am now, and I think it also prepared me for with some of my leadership skills that I have as well. So
Oh yeah, those things that our parents put on us definitely helped us.
yeah.
Now you have a a line in your bio that really stood out to me, and I
Okay.
want you to talk about it if you don't mind.
Okay.
And I don't even know why this rings with me. Maybe I can explain it after I read it. And this is a line in your bio. It says, alongside her husband, Christina also leads educational seminars on stress management, emotional regulation, and sustainable leadership, equipping entrepreneurs, professionals, and organizations with practical tools to stabilize, strengthen, and thrive under pressure. And I think the thing that kind of grabs me is that prepositional phrase that says alongside her husband.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done a lot of talking about him,
Okay.
but I'm always amazed, gratified, um, just full of joy when I see couples working together.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the most fulfilling things that I see, especially when those couples kind of look like me.
Well,
Can you talk about it?
so first of all, Brian and I have been together actually this month, March, will be 12 years, and we've been married this month, 7 years. We both are in the same field. He is also, right now, he is a group facilitator out at Youth for Tomorrow. And he also does, he's a certified substance abuse counselor assistant. He is wrapping up his bachelor's in clinical psychology, I believe, and will be pursuing a master's. So, being that we are in the same field, we enjoy doing some of the same things as far as treatment and providing insight to our community about mental health. So, one of the things that we created is the leadership reset, and what that is, and I know all those, you said all those words. I'm going to say what it is in just very little words. It is equipping leaders with the appropriate tools to manage their stress so that they can lead their team effectively. What we are seeing is that a lot of people are burned out, a lot of people are stressed. I know we're all looking at social media, seeing people crash out, whether it's at work or after they leave work. But the reality is, we all work entirely too much, and we're not getting enough time to decompress. We're not we're not equipped with the best tools to manage the stress that we have. We don't even have the actual language on how to express what we're feeling. We don't know how to talk to our supervisors to let them know that we're overworked. We're scared to even suggest that we need a break. So it's about being able to provide leadership with these tools, but also not just giving them the tools to decompress and work on their own stress, but also to be able to recognize it in their staff, right? So that everyone, your whole team, can be effective. I don't believe, I mean, I wish we could go from 40-hour work weeks. I don't know who created that, but the reality is we're spending more time at work than we are with our family, with downtime. We barely have any downtime. So it's really just giving some tools where you can do a 5 minute reset. We did that recently at a seminar um, at A&B Creative Event Center. We were there, and the 5 minute reset. I've had some of the participants even reach out to me like, "This was great. I was able to do this on my own at work, and I'm so glad that you provided us this tool." And all it is really just taking some deep breaths and just resetting your mind and your body, right? And I think being able to teach that to people um, will kind of, help people regulate their emotions and just slow down, take a breath. We all get frustrated and worked up over things, right? And sometimes all we need to do is just step back, look at the situation, and just not react, but respond. And we even talked about that with using silence sometimes. But that's what the leadership reset is. It's educating people on how to uh, take a pause.
I like that. I like that. Now, I don't want to leave this interview without talking about the work that you do with Yet Stand and that amazing Elaine Crocker.
Yes.
Uh, she is a tremendous person with a story that just blows your mind.
Yes.
Last year, 2025, we featured her on the Black Excellence Showcase, and
Mm-hmm.
I could interview her 5 more times and still not get all of the story. So,
Yeah.
could you talk about the work that you do with Yet Stand?
So I am the vice president and the director of mental health and planning for Yes Stand Inc. We actually we go out to different schools, and it's great because we're invited to come in. And what we do is we provide mental health tools for the students. Right. Some of the conversations we have are about suicide, self harm. We give coping skills. We also have been going in and talking about how to show up at an interview, how to, kind of decide on which career path you want to take. So, and then we also bring in others with us too, right? That may be able to provide something beneficial to the kids. As a matter of fact, on Tuesday, we'll be there. And I think the lady's name is Stephanie, but we're doing like a drum therapy with the kids, right? So it's introducing different techniques, different coping skills to the students in the schools. And I love that is one of my favorite things to do is to be in these circles because we all sit and we just talk about life, right? And some of the kids may talk about their parents and how their parents don't understand. I mean, we all grew up thinking our parents didn't understand anything we were talking about, right? So being able to speak to someone who is older that relates to you, right? And then being able to give you a tool or giving you even mindfulness. We do mindfulness, grounding techniques with them, right? So giving them something that helps them and their peers.
All right, this is the last question before we wrap.
Okay.
Substance abuse is something near and dear to me because I have a history with it.
Right.
But you do substance abuse counseling,
Hmm.
and you have said yourself that you have a history with it. What is the most rewarding portion of substance abuse counseling for you?
The most rewarding is when the person realizes they have an issue and they're committed to the work of correcting that issue. Um, Even with substance use, I honestly, of course, I would never, I don't judge any of my clients. I don't uh, say it's going to be easy. I don't pretend with them on anything. But I do celebrate them. I do encourage them. I do allow them to or help them to recognize their role in this process and where they've gone right and even when they have a thought and they're like, oh, well, I thought da 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 da. Okay, I commend you on that. Sometimes people just need to understand that what they're doing is okay. Some people with substance use have been beat down so much, right? So that's not my goal. My goal is not to beat you down. My goal is to, uplift you, but also to keep you realistic, though, about your situation, but to keep you encouraged as well. So that is the most rewarding is when they recognize there's a problem and commit to fixing it.
That's awesome. Listen, before we go, I want to give you a chance. Maybe there's something that we did not cover during this time together, and you want to get it off your chest. Maybe you want to tell the audience something about your book or where they might be able to find you, your services. Take some
Okay.
time and please tell the audience whatever you would like to tell them, and take as much time as you want.
Well, my book, Delayed to Decay: The Spiritual Implications of Procrastination, A Pathway to Poverty, you can find on Amazon. If you're local and you are in Fredericksburg or Stafford or Richmond and you want to get the book, I don't have an issue with meeting you personally and signing the book and giving the book to you. Well, I'm selling the book to you. But for anything else, as far as any of my uh, whether it's Christian counseling, mental health, or substance use counseling, or the brunch and the leadership reset, you can reach me on LinkedIn. And again, my name is there, Christina Hampton, on LinkedIn, and I will definitely respond to you. And I'm on all social media: Facebook, Christina Hampton; Instagram, Christina Love Hampton. I'm also on TikTok. I don't do a lot on there, but I'm on there.
All right, I thank you. Listen, we have had a slice of not only Black excellence, but excellence in general with Miss Christina Hampton, a mental health professional, a businesswoman, entrepreneur, a tremendous community advocate, and mental health professional. I am so grateful for the time we have spent here. Thank you, audience. Thank you for your time tonight, your precious time. Thank you for your questions and your comments. Elaine, I see you out there. We got to get you on again. Thank all of you. Thank God for those of you who tagged someone or sent someone the link. And even for those of you who are catching this in the playback, please make sure you let somebody know about these conversations. You may be one of those persons that maybe I don't know about. I know a lot of people, but maybe I don't know you. If you have an interesting story, it might fit into the Black Excellence Showcase, or maybe it won't fit the particular series. But remember, Carl's Conversations is the safe place for difficult conversations. I'm going to be doing some difficult conversations coming up. I'm going to be doing some conversations on this thing called Christian nationalism. I'm going to be doing some conversations on this thing called woke. I'm going to be doing some conversations on what in the world is going on in our country under this current administration. So listen, if you think that you got what it takes to be on one of these conversation panels, hit me up. Leave me something on Facebook on Carl's Conversations. Hit me up my messages on the chat on YouTube. If you got my phone number, send me a text. I will be glad to have you on. And thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. Jay said, good discussion. Appreciate it. And if you think it was good, make sure you share it with someone, Jay. Christina, it was an absolute honor and a pleasure to have you here. I thank you. And as I said before, anything that I can do to help you do what you are doing, the answer is yes. All we got to do is work out the calendar. I know how your calendar is, and you know how mine is, but we work it out and we'll get it done. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Carl's Conversations will be back on Tuesday evening. I think we're going to be coming at 8 p.m. Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. We have another tremendous episode with Pastor Carrie Kendrick out of Tennessee. She has another slice of Black excellence. We'll see you then. Until next time, take care and tell somebody. See you on Tuesday evening. Bye bye for now.